The Ankita Singh case in senseless homicides. Ankita Singh, one of the many female murder victims, lost her life in an horrific and brutal crime when she refused to date a local Muslim boy. Are these murders part of the love jihad conspiracy, where Muslim men try to convert Hindu women to Islam and then react with violence upon hearing a no? Or are they the result of something else? Ankita Singh lived in the Dumka district of Jharkhand in eastern India and was a schoolgirl in class 12. She dreamed of pursuing a government career as a police officer so she would be able to financially provide for her family. While Ankita was little, her mother was diagnosed with cancer. Her family couldn't afford the treatment or the mounting medical bills, so were forced to sell their property. After her mother's death, Ankita, her father Sanjeev, and her younger brother moved into a 2-bedroom home in Dumka. In 2022, Ankita was struggling because a young man from her district was harassing her. Shahrukh, Ankita's harasser, wanted to date Ankita and would torment her daily with his pleas to be her boyfriend. Dumka is a district in conflict. The citizens are divided between followers of Islam and devotees of Hinduism. Shahrukh, a follower of Islam, was trying to convert Ankita, a Hindu, into a member of his faith. It's alleged that a few days before her brutal murder, Shahrukh broke into Ankita's home and trashed her house in a rage. He was unhappy that she had rejected him. Afraid of Shahrukh and not knowing what else to do, Ankita turned to her father for help. She informed him about the abuse and harassment she had suffered at the hands of Shahrukh, who had even threatened to murder her if she didn't agree to be his girlfriend. Ankita's father, who still wasn't aware of the gravity of the situation, told his daughter that he would talk with the boy and his family the next day. Sadly for Ankita, that day would never come. At 4 a.m. on August 23, as Ankita slept in her bed, Shahrukh and an accomplice crawled in through her window with a can of gasoline. Shahrukh poured the contents of the can all over Ankita's sleeping body and then lit a match. Fire engulfed Ankita's body and her painful screams woke her father and brother. She was rushed to the Pulau Janau Medical College and Hospital. Burns covered 90% of the girl's body and Ankita was struggling to survive. On August 28, 2022, a few days after the shocking incident, Ankita succumbed to her injuries. As police officers in Dumka arrested Shahrukh and his accomplice, both men were seen to have grins on their faces. Shahrukh walked past reporters filming the arrest confidently, as if vindicated by burning Ankita to death. His confidence made it seem like he was pleased with what he had done. After the arrest, the media released more information about Shahrukh's relationship with Ankita. Sanjeev, Ankita's father, said Shahrukh would torment his daughter as she walked to and from school. He would threaten the teenager by telling her to accept his love and convert to Islam, or there would be a price to pay. Shahrukh even managed to get his hands on Ankita's phone number and would call her across all hours of the day and night. Shahrukh had broken into Ankita's home in 2019, but neighbors heard the young girl's screams and came to her aid. The boy was dragged out of the house and beaten in the street. The police became involved after this incident and brokered a peace deal between the children's families. Still, Shahrukh refused to change his ways. He and his friends continued to disrupt the girl's life until the day he killed her. Ankita's family even allege that after Shahrukh's arrest, police officials attempted to cover up the crime to protect the boy. Ankita was a girl with dreams and aspirations. She had plans for her future, and she felt she was too young to be in a serious relationship. Ankita turned down Shahrukh's proposals, saying she wanted to focus on her studies so she would be ready for when she finally applied for a government position in the police force. It's alleged that Shahrukh once said that he had connections within the Dumka police department. He said he could help her get the job. Even though Ankita was only 16 years old at the time, official Dumka police documents released her age as 19. The Jharkhand Child Welfare Committee released Ankita's school records to the media, stating that she was indeed a minor at the time of her death, and they confirmed her birth date to be November 23, 2006, with Ankita's actual age confirmed. The Jharkhand Child Welfare Committee insisted that her murderer be charged under the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act of 2012. The Act states that anyone committing a sexual crime against a child will be severely punished. If the accused is said to have perpetrated a case of aggravated sexual assault, they would be subject to the death penalty. After Ankita's murder, protests erupted in the streets of Dumka. The district's citizens were fed up with their daughters dying at the hands of violence. Sadly, Ankita's case is not an isolated one. Hindu girls in the areas surrounding where Ankita lived are murdered daily. There are so many murders that many of them go unreported. Many believe that the number of Hindu women murdered by men with Islamic backgrounds is because of a controversial topic called love jihad. Love jihad is a conspiracy theory in which Muslim men target and seduce Hindu women to convert them to Islam. Some believe that Muslim men will ride fancy bikes and dress in designer clothes to woo Hindu women. Although it is unclear how much truth there is to the love jihad conspiracy, there is no denying that women in India are being violently killed every day. A few days after Ankita's murder, another Hindu woman was killed by a person with an Islamic background. A Muslim man, Arman Ansari, murdered a Hindu woman from Dumka with whom he had been in a relationship. When the woman discovered she was pregnant and asked Arman to marry her, he killed her and hung her lifeless body from a tree. She was 14. Arman also raped her before violently taking her life. These supposed love jihad killings aren't isolated to India. There was recently a murder in Greece that the press dubbed a love jihad killing. A Pakistani boy living in Greece killed his teenage girlfriend after seducing her and trying to convert her to Islam. In another case, a former boyfriend of a 16-year-old girl shot and almost killed her after she stopped responding to his advances. This was also a suspected case of love jihad. The victim, who survived the attack, had been stalked by her would-be murderer as she walked to and from school. He would ride his bike and harass her as she desperately tried to ignore him while on her walk home. When the boy broke a window at the family's home in July, police said they would talk with him to make sure it didn't happen again. The murder attempt took place only a few weeks later. Bullets fired from the boy's gun are still in the victim's body. A doctor told the girl's mother that it would take 6 months and many more operations to completely remove the bullet's fragments. The young girl still wakes up halfway through each night, afraid and crying due to the trauma created by her ordeal. Before Ankita Singh died, and while she was at the hospital fighting for her life, she recorded a video statement for police officials, the citizens of Dumka, and her assailant. In it, Ankita, whose body was covered in burns, used her final breaths to say, "He should die the way I am dying today." She passed away shortly after her statement. Ankita's family says their house feels empty without her. They miss their kind and caring daughter very much.